getting by without. I happened to catch the Oprah Winfrey show yesterday, and Oprah Winfrey had this family that was going through a week with no TV, no video games, no cell phones, no computers, just basically stripping all the electronics out of their lives and reconnecting as a family, no fast food, those sorts of things. And as I was watching it, I thought to myself, I just went through a week of that. And I had the most marvelous time. I had gone out to Oakland, California, somewhere Al was just talking about the San Francisco Bay Area. I had gone out there for Christmas to New Year's that week in between to stay at my sister's house. My other sister was driving down from Oregon, and my brother lives in San Jose, which is about an hour away. So the four of us, who are anywhere from 14 to 16 months apart, so 5 kids crammed into a fairly tight time span, who grew up on a farm, so there weren't a whole lot of other kids. We were a very tight family, even though we weren't near enough to visit each other very often. Well, this was the first time in 5 years that we've gotten together for a holiday. And the sister from Oakland had her 3 boys there, and my sister from Oregon had one of her kids came down. And I'm talking kids that are all in their early 20s. Well, it turns out Verizon doesn't have coverage at my sister's house. So it wiped out Mary's cell phone, Kate's cell phone, Jane's cell phone. Mary being the one who lives there. She doesn't use her cell phone in her house. And Mary's 2 of her 3 kids are developmentally disabled, and one of them is really into video games. So the computer was continuously occupied by Kevin, which meant none of the rest of us had access to email or any of those things. So we basically wiped out the electronics. So what do you do when you've wiped out the electronics in your life? Massive number of us use Facebook and Twitter and certainly email, certainly cell phones, lots of people do texting. Just wipe all that out of your life. What do? You disconnect with the rest of the world that's really irrelevant while you're trying to take a vacation. And you go to downtown San Francisco and wander along the pier and wonder why there are only 6 sea lions when there 2 months ago were 1,700 sea lions there. Still don't know the answer to that one. You go up in the hills around Oakland, you go for a hike in the woods, you watch out for cougars, which apparently attack hikers in the woods, and eat one every once in a while. And then when you get home, you discover that your sister's head in their head, well, I can outrun Jane. Well, great. Well, keep that in mind next time I'm hiking with you. I'll bring along a baseball bat or something. And we did go to a movie, which is something that I guess fits in electronics or media of the outside world. But the other things besides hiking and sightseeing, we cooked. Turns out my sisters are really good cooks, and I can hold my own amongst them. So after we cooked, we ate, and we talked, and we did Sudoku puzzles and crossword puzzles and jumbles and the types of stuff that showed up in the paper in the morning, and we read the news and we talked to each other about our lives and our careers and our families, and had a really darn good time reconnecting. And I come home and I'm resenting my cell phone. I don't want somebody calling me on my cell phone. Leave me alone. I want to do my life. And so when I watched Oprah's show yesterday, it was so revealing that this family who had gotten so into this stuff, when it was stripped all away, turned into a normal family. And they all had smiles on their face. They were just thrilled with the results of it. Big question is, how can you keep it up? Our society has gotten so dependent on these things that I think we need to work at becoming less dependent on them. So that's what I did for my Christmas vacation, was I disconnected.